Welcome to The Explainer. So, you know that feeling at the end of a long, grueling day of complex problem solving? Your brain just feels literally full, like you couldn't possibly cram a single new piece of information in there if you tried. We've all been there, right? That feeling of modern mental burnout is just completely universal. But what actually happens to our cognitive machinery when we push it right past its limits? And, maybe more importantly for us today, how does our daily use of artificial intelligence affect our ability to bounce back from that burnout? Well, today we're looking at a super fascinating study. Researchers took 176 healthy undergrads and intentionally pushed their working memory to the absolute breaking point just to find out.
Okay, let's dive into this because this question is literally everywhere right now. There's this huge, pervasive myth going around that relying on AI tools is just totally eroding our cognitive resilience. The big fear is that by offloading our thinking to machines, our own brains are getting soft, lazy, and less capable of handling high-pressure mental strain. But is that actually true? Today we're going to look at the hard data to investigate this central myth and uncover the surprising reality of our relationship with technology.
To really understand this study, we first need to define what the researchers were actually trying to achieve. They wanted to induce a state called cognitive overload. Basically, this happens when the mental demands of a task just completely exceed the available cognitive resources of our working memory. Think of your working memory like a temporary workspace, like a small desk. When you put way too much stuff on that desk, things just start falling off the edges, right? And that leads to a measurable deterioration in performance. The researchers intentionally set out to create this exact kind of brain strain in the lab.
So here's our roadmap for the explainer today. First, breaking the brain. Second, the cognitive hangover. Third, the AI paradox. Fourth, the danger zone. And finally, number 5, building cognitive resilience. Let's get to it.
Section 1. Breaking the brain. Inducing maximum mental strain.
All right, step 1 for the researchers was the methodology. Like, how do you actually systematically exhaust a student's working memory in a controlled lab setting? Well, to do this, they used a classic psychological gauntlet known as the N-back task. Participants were shown a sequence of stimuli, like letters or shapes, and they had to indicate if the current item matched the one presented N steps back. They started out easy at step 1, the one-back task. Super low difficulty, you just have to remember the very last thing you saw. Then they bumped it to step 2, the two-back task, medium difficulty, but then they pushed them to step 3, the three-back task. This means you have to constantly update your memory to track what happened exactly 3 steps ago, all while new information is continuously flooding in. It is incredibly taxing, and honestly, it successfully cornered the students' cognitive limits.
And this brilliantly illustrates the impact of all that escalating pressure. Accuracy just plummeted. Down at the low-stress one-back level, students were hitting about an 83.5% accuracy rate.